The Tesla Model 2, set for release in 2026, raises a new question. How does Tesla fix the durability problems, cabin wear issues, and long-term noise concerns that most affordable cars suffer from? Buyers want a small, efficient EV, but they also want one that stays solid, quiet, and clean after years of daily use. Tesla's answer is to remove the fragile parts that typically age first, redesign the airflow system so it doesn't rattle, strengthen the hinges and lids that usually loosen, and build the interior around materials that resist fading, stains, and scratches. At the same time, the Model 2 focuses on making in-drive controls faster and more intuitive, so the driver does not have to look away from the road simply to adjust temperature or clear the windshield. These ideas, when combined, make the Model 2 feel more like a calm personal space than a budget EV. The first step is reducing the number of components that can break. Tesla's philosophy for the Model 2 is simple. Fewer moving elements inside the cabin equal fewer points of failure in the long term. By eliminating roughly a third of the small mechanical connectors that most cars hide behind their dashboards, Tesla can cut early-stage faults by around 25% within the first 3 years of ownership. This matters because many issues reported in cheaper vehicles come from loosened switches, worn pivots, or rattling vents. The redesigned air vent in the Model 2 is an example of this approach. Instead of cluster rotating fins, Tesla uses one long slot with internal flaps that redirect airflow. A small slider controls the direction with only 2 or 3 pivot points instead of nearly 10. With fewer joints, there's less wear and fewer squeaks or buzzing noises. You can evaluate this in person by adjusting the vent at mid-fan level and listening for changes. If the flow remains steady and quiet, the vent's internal mechanism is well built. Even a gentle shake of the dashboard should not increase noise more than a few decibels, proving the rigidity of the structure. Buttons are another frequent pain point in older vehicles. Tesla solved this in the Model 2 by using sealed metal dome switches, or magnetic Hall effect triggers hidden under the surface. These switches are designed to survive 500,000 to 1 million presses, which is several times longer than common plastic switches. When a button is pressed repeatedly and maintains its firmness and minimal side-to-side movement, it indicates a strong foundation that won't loosen over time. Tesla applies similar attention to the armrest and the center storage lid. Instead of relying on cheap plastics that squeak with daily use, the Model 2 incorporates short steel pins and felt padding that absorb micro-movements. Even after 20 or more open-close cycles, the lid should produce the same sound and maintain its gap alignment. When pressed with normal hand force, the armrest should stay silent rather than flexing or creaking. The charging ports also receive extra reinforcement. The USB-C connectors use durable retention clips and a strengthened supporting frame designed for thousands of plug-unplug cycles. Tesla even adds a hidden cable guide to prevent internal wires from tapping against plastic surfaces, avoiding the small but irritating rattles that often develop in older cars. All these measures work together with one purpose: to lower the number of service visits needed during early ownership. Since interior faults and minor electrical failures usually make up a significant portion of workshop trips, removing weak components could help owners avoid several $100s in yearly repair expenses while also saving time. This philosophy carries into the choice of materials. The Model 2 interior may not look flashy on first glance, but Tesla emphasizes surfaces that remain clean, fade-resistant, and resilient after a decade of real use. Plastic panels and synthetic leather areas receive anti-adhesion polymer coatings that slow the absorption of liquids, so spills can be wiped away before staining. The cabin features deep matte textures that scatter light and hide micro-scratches, an important advantage as most interiors begin to look worn from light marks around the 5-year mark. For areas constantly exposed to sunlight, such as door trims, Tesla uses materials that have passed intense UV light testing with minimal color deviation. Without UV protection, many trims in cheaper vehicles turn cloudy or faded within a few years. Seats and armrests use polycarbonate-coated synthetic leather combined with an elastic backing that retains its shape under compression, meaning the surfaces resist cracking or peeling even in hot climates or heavy daily use. Noise reduction is another area where Tesla makes subtle but meaningful changes. At highway speeds where engines are no longer the dominant source of noise, wind rushing around the doorframe and vibrations from the road become the main contributors. By improving the thickness and clamping force of the door seals, especially around ear level, the Model 2 can block airflow that typically leaks through older designs. A simple paper test in a showroom, closing the door on a sheet and checking the resistance, can quickly indicate the quality of the seal. The wheel well liners also play an important role. Tesla uses dense fiber materials instead of hard plastic, reducing the sharp tapping of gravel and lowering noise in the mid-frequency range. When combined with slightly heavier floor mats and a sealed compressor compartment covered with foam, the Model 2's cabin can be 2 to 5 decibels quieter than an older gasoline sedan. Even a small drop in decibels can reduce driver fatigue, especially during long highway trips, and allow softer conversations or cleaner audio from the sound system. Finally, Tesla rethinks how the driver interacts with core controls. Instead of forcing users to dive into menus, the Model 2 introduces a dedicated strip of controls built into the steering wheel spokes, shaped distinctly so each command can be recognized by touch alone. Temperature adjustments use a long ridge, fans speed a circular bump, and defogging a triangular shape. The spacing and height differences between buttons help the fingers find each function without needing to look. The force required to press each button and the tiny haptic pulse that confirms input are tuned so that each action is unmistakably felt even on bumpy roads. The layout minimizes accidental presses and allows drivers to adjust settings in under half a second, reducing the time their eyes leave the road. At higher speeds, this improvement greatly increases safety and comfort, especially for older drivers who prefer tactile controls over touch-only interfaces. All of these quiet upgrades, stronger vents, durable switches, reinforced hinges, stain-resistant materials, better insulation, and intuitive controls combine to make the Tesla Model 2 feel more stable and peaceful in daily use. Instead of aging quickly like many budget cars, the cabin is built to remain solid, clean, and quiet for many years. These changes may not all appear in advertisements, but they are the details you can verify yourself in a showroom. And together, they suggest that the Model 2 is designed not just to be affordable, but to deliver a calmer and more durable ownership experience.